story about a couple of stories actually that oftentimes are not even spoken about when you hear the quote unquote experts talk about what needs to be done in business or how you need to build and all the things that they say you need to have in order to have any level of success or make progress or move the needle along the line. And something that they don't often talk about is what we're going to talk about today. What we've used as marriedpreneurs is a very, very sweet spot. And we wanted to share this with you all. But I know we're on a couple of different platforms and we're not going to assume that everyone knows who we are. So we're just going to do a quick little intro. And then we'll probably, we plan on actually using this for a podcast too, but it's going to be really good. So
what's up, y'all? I'm Oil Buckley.
And I'm Sway Buckley.
And we are marriedpreneurlife.com. This is where we help mission-minded married entrepreneurs, those of you who want to get more clarity, generate more income. But above all of that, you want to leave a lasting impact.
Yes, married entrepreneurs come to us to sync high-level systems with laser clear strategy to build out a solid legacy structure and to do that peaceably and profitably. So whether you're an indiepreneur, spousalpreneur, or couplepreneur, you are absolutely in the right place. If you have no idea what those are, an indiepreneur, marriedpreneur type is where a couple, both spouses are working and building individual businesses. And then you have the spousalpreneur, and that's where one spouse is building the business while the other spouse is then in fact working a 9 to 5. Or then there's a couplepreneur where both spouses are working together in the 9 to 5. And now you can be a combination of those. You can be one of those. You can be transitioning from one of those to the next one of those, all that good stuff. But the whole point of this is those are the marriedpreneur types, the three main ones, and you're all legacy builders. We are here for legacy builders, couples who are building a legacy. So today we're going to jump into this. Something that we've heard a lot of talk about is how people have said, oh, you need to have this in place in order to build your business, or you need to have this over here, and you need to know how to do this, and all these different things. And if you're not really clear, what could happen is you can find yourself running yourself ragged and to the ground and not seeing the results that you want to see. But there's a very sweet spot when it comes to marriedpreneurs, when it comes to married entrepreneurs, that we want to share with you all that some pretty amazing stories to kick off our marriedpreneur journey. And this is when we did not have all the things that the people said that you need to have in order to get the types of results that we've gotten over the years. And this is even like early on. Right. So what we want to share with you is just the power of wealth roles. And let me just, I guess we should start off with one story, your example, and then use my example afterward.
Yeah. So I'll start at the point where I am 12 months, at the beginning of the 12 months to my last year in the banking industry. Just prior to that 12-month period or that 12-month mark. So we're winding down 12 months, my last 12 months in the banking industry. We're at an event. And there was a presentation on the stage. And my wife said, you need to meet that gentleman. It was a panel and there was a particular guy on the stage. My wife goes, you need to meet that gentleman. And so lo and behold, we had a mutual connection. It was actually a family member. It was my mother. We had a mutual connection. And so we meet the guy. We're having conversations. He finds out what it is that I do and thought I could possibly help him with something that they were struggling with for a while. Long story short, we exchange information. We get back to our prospective cities. Well, he flies home and we get on the phone later that week and we start talking about this very large project. It was an 8-figure deal project that he was working on that he wanted my assistance with. So he said, all right, here's how we're going to move forward. I just need you to, submit to me a contract. Fast forward, we're in Chicago and he emails me and says, hey, I need, this is like the following week, I need you to give me that contract. So I didn't have a contract. I didn't have a business card. I didn't have marketing. I didn't have branding. I didn't have a phone number. I didn't have an email address. I didn't have any of that stuff. I didn't have an EIN number at that time.
But you had a wife.
But I did have a wife. And so I go online, I pull off a generic contract. I change out some of the language to make it pertinent, germane to me, my company. I come up with a name for the company on the spot.
Well, who went online? I went online for you.
Okay.
Looking at this.
All
I
right.
want to say
Why
that
don't you
because
tell
it's
the-
tying in.
go-
Because
go
it's
ahead.
tying in. I know
Go
you're
ahead.
like
Go ahead.
into it. But listen, keep telling the story. I just want to make sure because it's going to tie back into the wealth rules.
All right. You went online.
There you go.
Okay. And so we pull off a contract and you start typing up in
I
PDF
sure
Escape.
did. Yeah.
All right. And start pulling all this stuff together. So
Mhm.
now here's the part that I did do.
Okay.
I'm telling you what to put into the
Okay,
contract.
you did do that. You did do that.
I guess I did something.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm telling you what to put into the contract. And we send it off. The guy signs it. Boom, we're off to the races.
Mm-hmm. And I think it's important to say before all that even happened, the reason why he asked you to send the contract was because you did the work that no one else on their team could do. And once you did the work and you delivered on that he was asking for some consultation and no one else, that all the veterans that had been working on the deal weren't able to do it. And you come along as this new guy and you're still in your banking job. And then that's when you were still able to do the situation for him. I say all that to say, that's the important part. That's the meat of it, y'all. And then the contract piece came because by the time it was signed, it was already done. The funds were already, it was ready to go. But that was just one aspect of implementing wealth roles into our marriedpreneur journey, which we didn't even know they were a thing. Wealth roles were even a thing. And I want to give another example. As I was building out my staffing firm, it got to the point where, pretty robust, huge corporate contracts where we were, over time, we'd hired about a little over like 100 team members. And that's a lot. 100 people is a lot of people to be in charge of and to write payroll for and to, make sure everybody's getting what they need to get. And I relied heavily on you. I relied heavily on your brain to say, okay, what do you think about this? And for you to know who I am and what do you think about even this person or this situation? This is what I'm dealing with, or this is what the company is asking for. What do you think about this? And it wasn't like you were, quote unquote, legally a part of that business, but you were a part of that business. We're one. And that happened vice versa as another way that we were using wealth roles once again. And so the reason why, we're sharing both sides of the story with this, with you all, is because wealth roles, I would say, is like, I don't know if it's like the best kept secret. I don't even think it should ever be a secret for married entrepreneurs because it is that secret sauce. It is really what pulls all the things that people may even say would be impossible otherwise, but it makes possible because you all are bringing both, like, all of yourselves to the table.
You're bringing the best of your background, your experience, your talent, your giftings together, and you're doing it in a way that is complementary.
Yes, right. And so, and it makes it so, it brings such an ease to the process of business building and revenue, creating even more revenue and clients as you're moving along. Now, with that being said, we just wanted to give a quick or a couple of examples of what it has looked like. And this is like kicking off our marriedpreneur journey. It wasn't like 10 years into it or 8 years, or, it wasn't that. It was like this was even before you were full time into it. So I'm saying this is when he was still at the bank and
I still have my 9 to 5.
Yeah. So what we're saying is if some of you may be looking to transition from your 9 to 5, or maybe, you're looking to, maybe you've already transitioned, but you're looking to like grow in your business. Maybe you're looking to kick it off or scale it, whatever that may be, that growth aspect of it. I would really recommend that you have this wealth roles combo. We call this wealth roles.
Yeah. By having this wealth role combo, it's going to, it's such a tongue twister.
I know
sometimes.
it is.
By having this wealth roles convo, what happens is that you start marking X's and O's. Who's doing what? Who's playing what position? And as you continue to do this, like any great team, because you guys are a team, your ability to flow together, to work together, is going to have such a smoothness and a professionalism, because you are building a business together that would not exist if you did not define those wealth roles and get into position. Yeah. So the beauty of this is that it's going to look different based on your marriage, based on your capabilities, each of you, your abilities, your gifts, and your graces. And we have something called the marriedpreneur method. And the marriedpreneur method, it's a 5-step process really for high-level productivity systems for married entrepreneurs. But the third step in that
in that marriedpreneur method is a step called called gifts and graces. And gifts and graces is really about you and your spouse being clear of not just your own gifts and graces, but being clear about what your spouse's gifts and graces are. And then it goes into the fourth step, which is actually wealth roles. So you take those gifts in the graces, and then you look into say, okay, so based on where we are individually, based on what you, because sometimes, I can't see all the things that I can do. And then likewise, you can't see all the things that you can do, or even the opportunities, the connections, all the things, right? It just sometimes it takes your spouse to say, wait a minute, there is something that I think we should go deeper with this, right? So once we get that clarity and going deeper with that, that's when the wealth roles piece comes in, because without that, it's so easy to start just like doing things and running yourself ragged and just saying, oh, let me try this, let me try that. And you can have the gift to do something, but not the grace to do it. And that's why we call it gift and graces, and understanding where your grace is to do a thing. And sometimes you can be graced to do a thing and not necessarily like naturally gifted to do it too. So those two things working together really make it for a very sweet opportunity when it comes to wealth roles. And so in this wealth roles convo that we recommend that you have, and it's really more of like a maintenance situation, or if you're feeling a bit stuck and you're like, we need some strategy, we need some insight, what can we do? We know there are opportunities around us, we know that there's more things that we can do, and we just don't see it right now, right? Well, this is where a simple wealth roles convo comes in. So it looks something like this. It looks like asking each other or ourselves, okay, what is in our hands? And when we say like, what is in our hands, that means what are the opportunities that are in our reach right now that maybe we've been overlooking? And so we've had this conversation, and then we've realized, wait a minute, the things that we've been doing in other companies or for other businesses, we can be doing the same thing for ourselves. We can be doing the same thing for our own business.
That's right.
And using that to actually grow versus only just seeing all the opportunities for other people. But what do we see that's right in our hands right now?
Yeah, it's not about trying to extend yourself to try and create opportunities. Oftentimes, there's things that have been just right within our grasp, right on our doorstep. And we tend to overlook those things because they're so close and so accessible. But don't overlook things that are close and things that are accessible for things that seem more tempting and they're far out of reach. Because listen, all of us are working with a certain degree of bandwidth, a certain degree of time, a certain degree of energy. And so you want to do the kind of things that can help maximize that. And there's things that are going to be easy to reach opportunities that are going to be in your grasp, easier to reach opportunities that are going to be in my grasp. And they may not necessarily be the same opportunities, but in wealth roles, we come together and we help each other move on that, execute on that, so that the legacy gets momentum.
Yes, y'all.
Regardless of which per se person it may come through at that moment.
Yeah, because we did it initially as spousalpreneurs, right? Like I was saying, one of us who's working in a 9 to 5. So it doesn't require you to say, oh, I have to have all this time. In fact, it's quite the opposite. In fact, it shows you that there are ways and opportunities, really we call it the LHF rule, lowest hanging fruit, like what's right in front of you. That also means the people that you know. That also means like the things that people have been asking for, the relationships.
There's a connection between opportunity and relationship.
Come on. Yes, there's a relationship there. And then also like thinking, okay, wait, you have the ability to do this. I have the ability to do this. People have been asking for such and such. Oh, well, why don't we create or start a conversation with such and such over at this company, since this is what they're needing. Maybe this is what they're asking for. Let's go ahead and create a solution for them. Like we have the solution, but we're not moving on it. So this is a great way to collapse time to get faster results, but then also to really truly work aligned in your assignment and the gifts and the graces, and that wealth, those wealth roles it just flourishes naturally out of that, because once you're aware, you can make a clear assessment of what you can do, right? You can make a clear assessment with your awareness.
When you can make clear assessments, you can make clear assignments. So to try to assign a person or something to try to function in a way that you haven't assessed, it's likely it's going to be a mismatch. So I'm going to be doing things that are not really in my skill set. You're going to be doing things that are not in your skill set. That's where frustration comes in. That's where loss of revenue comes in.
Tired.
That's where blown opportunities come in. You fill in the blank.
Yeah, and then you find yourself overworking because you're like forcing it versus being in the flow.
And then you make ultimate statements like, we can't work together, or this isn't working. And it may be it's not that, it's just that you haven't assessed so that you can assign. And that happens only in the context of wealth role convos.
Yeah, y'all, it is powerful. And we've been doing this for years, but we didn't realize, wow, this is a legit system that has really created some beautiful opportunities. And not that the opportunities have been created, they were already there, but it actually gave us, like you said, the awareness to see the opportunities and then to put ourselves in them.
So we can
actually act on these opportunities that are there. People are needing this. Let's go ahead and create such and such, or let's go ahead and be a solution for this company or for this organization, right? And that could look different if I'm running a business, which I have, and then you're running a business, which you do, but just really bringing those two together to say, how can I help over here? How can you help over there? And it is powerful.
Yep.
It is powerful, y'all. It's a beautiful thing that only happens as marriedpreneurs, because there's nothing like marriage. There's no other relationship like marriage, right? It's a special union, covenant, all that, God's blessing on it. It's just a beautiful thing. And so we wanted to come on real quick just to share some real life stories about this, because once we got started, when we closed that 8-figure deal, I was like, wait a minute, and you got like a percentage of the.
So I got a percentage of the brokerage, and it was an 8-figure deal, and I'll just go ahead and say it was a $10.2 million deal. So you can just imagine. And so we say all that to say that to be able to really bring that to bear, to bring that to fruition, it's not enough to have the know-how. We have to be in the right position.
Yeah.
Every person on the team, if you will, has to know the X's and O's so we can know what position we're playing. And when you're doing what you're suited for, I'm doing what I'm suited for, the family moves together, the legacy moves together, moves in a way that's harmonious and in a way that's fruitful. And that's what we want to see happen.
Yeah, and the business grows, y'all. And there's a flow to it.
The organization gets served, the market gets served, the ministry gets served, the business gets served well.
It's a win-win-win, all the way around. Yeah. So anyway, we wanted to come on and just encourage you all in this. We're going to be using wealth roles every single day in our upcoming Love and Launch challenge. It's a free challenge. So if you are a marriedpreneur, couple, whether you're an indiepreneur, spousalpreneur, couplepreneur, and you all are seeking to know how do we put these wealth roles together, and then how do we build this business out? What is the strategy that we need? All this is connected to wealth roles, all of it, and that's what brings the ease to it. So we want to highly recommend, strongly recommend. If you're looking for help, this is definitely an answer to prayer. So you can connect with us. You can go to the link in the bio, head over to loveandlaunchsecrets.com/register and register for free. It starts on Monday, and we'll be walking you through so many amazing aspects of a very simple launch map, specifically for married entrepreneurs. So whether you are seeking to replace your 9-to-5 income and transition so you can be full-time marriedpreneurs, or whether you are already full-time and you're like, we're a bit stuck, what do we do next? We need some more insight, ideas, strategy, just because we've been in our own world and only talking to ourselves, and that's all we got is that. And you need to increase your skill set is what you need. So
and the way to do that is to increase your knowledge base.
So Love and Launch Secrets. She does. What's the link again? Yes, Love and Launch.
Better together. Secrets. That's my guy Dennis. What's up, my friend?
Hey, Dennis. loveandlaunchsecrets.com/register.
So that's loveandlaunchsecrets.com/register.
But the link is in this bio as well, too.
In this bio,
so you don't even have to type it, but go ahead and type it if you need to type it. But it's in the bio too, so you all can come in and get the goods. It's going to be amazing. This was just a quick story to encourage those of you who are looking to build but not even sure what the next steps are. We are excited to serve so many marriedpreneurs next week, Monday through Friday,
Yes.
totally free. So just come on in, loveandlaunchsecrets.com/register. Bring your spouse. Absolutely. Do it together. Even if you're spousalpreneurs, because one of you is called to entrepreneurship.
The whole family is called to it.
Yeah, you're building the same legacy. So you're able to build together in that way too. It's going to really be amazing. So hopefully that was helpful for you all. In this episode, we're going to be moving over then to the
Enjoying the journey together
segment. And so that when this episode drops, it'll probably be like in November, there'll be an Enjoying the Journey segment that will go with this episode. And then it'll give you some more practical steps on what you all can be doing to incorporate the wealth roles.
Mm-hmm.
But even more, the beautiful thing about you all who are listening now is the Love and Launch Challenge is about to happen in real time. So they won't get that part because it's going to be over. So anyway, hopefully this has been encouraging for you all. And we look forward to seeing and serving you all next week in the Love and Launch Challenge. We have some more great stories and resources we'll be bringing you for the rest of this week as well, too. So stay tuned and y'all have a good evening. Until next time.
Yep. Keep living purposefully,
powerfully,
and profitably in sync.
All right. Peace out.